through the Learning Center, or if it's through different peers on campus, or even our residential life dorm parents. So Luke, could you give a brief overview, just your experience so far? I know this is your senior year. Could you tell us about your academic support thus far?
I guess specifically in the dorms, it's been super helpful just having people who are taking the same classes as you. So like my roommate and I, we have a similar schedule. So I always know that if I have like a tough homework assignment, I can always go to him, talk to him. We can kind of work together and kind of brainstorm. And so it's really helpful to have people who are doing the same things as you, living with you, so you can like collectively work together on them. For an AP Calc test 2 weeks ago, there was about six of us all crammed into one dorm room, like brainstorming and working on this assignment for the test. And like if you walked in, it would just be crazy, like six of us all around this assignment working together. But we were able to get it done.
Excellent, thank you. Eric, would you like to speak a little bit about your experience with academic support here at HPA?
Um, yeah, sure. So basically, we have peer tutoring that helped me a lot during like the freshman year when I was first year, when I'm not really used to American style of learning and culture. And a lot of seniors and juniors helped me a lot through this process, and that really affect how I decide to stay in this school for like the full four years rather than leaving and go back to China. Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next category, which will be the math department here at HPA. So the interesting thing about our math department is that students have the ability, once they are selected through the admissions process, to test into any level of math that they would like to take starting their freshman year. So we have students taking anything from Algebra 1 to geometry, which is more typical. And then we have some students that even test out of geometry and are taking an AP level math course as a freshman or maybe a sophomore. So we have 12 different math classes, with 4 of those classes being AP and two classes, sorry, being honors. Mathematics here at HBA, also students have the ability to use what they learned in the math department and apply that to one of our like pinnacles of learning here at HPA, which is our capstone, which I'll also go over later on. But that's kind of a brief overview of our math department. I know Luke just mentioned his example with AP Calc BC. I'd love to hear, Eric, once again, could you just share your experience with the math department here at HPA? I know you're taking 2 math courses currently right now as a senior.
So HPA provides really good teachers in math, and rather than just helping me with equations and things, a lot of teacher here, like Mr. Zucchini in multi and Dr. R, really helped me to understand the meaning behind the equations and how can we derive out this equation. And that really helped a lot of people to understand how math is actually working. It's more like a science course, but less than like a traditional math course in HPA. And that really get me into math, and I'm really into math right now. So I think that really shaped my characteristic a lot. And the teacher here really helped me a lot, including Mr. White, Mr. Lustig, and Dr. R, Mr. Zucchini. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Eric. Okay, so we're going to keep moving along, and just remember that at the end, we'll have a Q&A session where you can ask either faculty members like myself and Ms. Hubert Sanchez, Mr. Burchell questions, or you can ask students. The next category is going to be our English department, and we have Sierra Hubert Sanchez on the call, so she's going to go over our English department here at HPA.
Yeah, hello, I am Sierra Hubert Sanchez, and I currently teach AP Language at HPA and then a 12th grade elective, like Mr. O'Donnell said. And English is the only subject at HPA that you're required to take all 4 years. And so we have 12 different classes that you can take. Beginning in our freshman and sophomore years, you have the choice of taking either regular English 9 or 10 or honors English. Both classes are structured around different genres of literature, and every English class will read at least one Shakespeare. So usually it's a good combination of both modern and canonical literature. So your student gets exposed to both contemporary and traditional. And then when you move up to grade 11 and grade 12, then we offer two AP classes. One is AP language, which I teach, and the other one is AP literature. And with our AP classes at HPA, we have a very high success and pass rate. And so when you actually look at the national average, the national pass rate for AP language is 56, but here at HPA, it's a 97. And so we can almost guarantee that if you take these AP classes, not only will you pass, but you'll do really well in them, and essentially get your English 101 in college waived, depending on what school you go to. So basically, the focus of the English department is to teach reading and writing skills and prepare students to do that at a college level. And so each of our English classes will incorporate some kind of research paper or component where you're practicing college level research skills by accessing scholarly databases, writing annotated bibliographies, and then producing papers that synthesize different sources. So we practice all kinds of writing, analytical, synthesis, argumentative, descriptive, narrative, just really trying to create a good breadth of understanding of literacy while also reading different texts from around the world. Something that's really special is that we try and incorporate Hawaiian texts in each of the classes. So students are not only learning about classical texts, but also literature from our very own Big Island as well. So yeah, that's a little bit about the English department.
Excellent. I'd love to have Valentina. Could you speak a little bit about your experience in the last 2 years as an international student coming to HPA? Tell us a little bit about your experience with the English department.
So at first I was a little scared that it was going to be really hard with the language barrier and everything, but the teachers were really understanding, and anytime I didn't understand anything, I could go during office hours and they would just explain everything to me, or as Luke said, with your friends, because some of my friends were in the same class as me. So it was not as scary as I thought, and it was just really easy, and it, like, my English has improved a lot since I got here.
Amazing. Thank you, Valentina. Okay, we are going to move along to our next department. That is going to be our science department. So Robert Birchall, take it away with an overview of the science department here at HPA.
All right. Well, thank you, Jack. So as you said, I'm one of the science teachers here at HPA. I teach chemistry and anatomy and physiology. And then on the side, I also coach swimming. So we have a whole host of natural science classes that we teach here at HPA. It's kind of progresses. Most freshmen will take biology. And then from there, you can kind of choose your pathway as you go forward, whether it's chemistry or physics. After you pass those kind of lab science classes, really the possibilities are almost endless with the amount of classes you can take. So we have our traditional AP classes with AP Chem and Bio and Physics, both Physics 1 and Physics C. Then we have AP Environmental Science. And those are taught around campus. AP Environmental Science is taught at our Energy Lab, which is a building that's very progressive on our campus. It really is a living laboratory. So it was built in 2010, and it serves as a classroom, but then also as a multi-purpose facility that kind of just shows sustainability in action. So it's sustained through a solar field. It's completely what you would say is off-grid. So it serves on catchment. And it really just imbues all of the kind of properties that we try to associate here at HPA. It's led by the eLab director, Bill Wicking, who also teaches some classes there. And it's styled in a way that is conducive to independent science research with individual rooms for doing your own work, but then also large laboratory settings that kind of serve as an open workshop. So it's a wonderful place, a beautiful facility, and it sits kind of windward, so it utilizes that kind of natural flow of wind to kind of help facilitate airflow in the building. Next, we have an awesome program that can be taken during school, but also offers out of school opportunities with the Turtle Research Program. It was started in the 1980s by our current director, Mark Rice, and his daughter, Laura Jim. And it serves in multiple different places around the Pacific Rim. So you have Japan, American Samoa, and Fiji, Vanuatu, just different places that students have opportunities to go. And they are researching several different species of green sea turtles and their kind of migratory patterns. It's a wonderful program that allows you to continue research, but then can culminate in several different capstones, like O'Donnell was saying, is kind of our senior level culmination class. And so students will have the opportunities to go off island with week-long trips, sometimes just short trips, but it allows them to kind of explore the natural wonders that Hawaii and then the other island chains have to offer. So that's what we have going on in the science department.
Awesome. Thank you, Robert. Let's go to Valentina. You currently have Mr. Burchell in class. Let's tell us about your experience so far in science class this year.
I think it's really good. The way we learn is not only like doing assignments, homework, tests, we also do labs, and I think it's the best way to learn. And also Mr. Burchell, if we get lost or something, he will help us. So it's very easy to keep up with the class, and it's a really nice environment.
Perfect. Okay, Luke, I know you're involved in the Turtle Research Program. If you want to just give everyone a brief overview or just talk about your experience thus far.
Yeah, so growing up in Chicago, there's no sea turtles there. So when I came to HPA, that was one of the big things I wanted to join and be part of, was just like learning about them. You have to take this test, you have to study and get like certified by NOAA to handle and work with these turtles. And then we do a lot of these research trips. We'll go down to the beach or these certain areas and we'll collect them, monitor their health, see how they're doing, how they're growing. We have like tracking chips we put in all of them so we can see how many times we've collected the same turtle, how they've grown over time, and just the general health of the turtle population on the Big Island. In January, we're going on a trip to Vanuatu where we'll be geotagging turtles. So we'll be putting like a satellite tag that can track them live. So we'll be able to get some helpful information through that, and should be a pretty fun experience.
Amazing. Thank you, Luke. Okay. Moving along, we're now going to cover, or I'm going to cover modern world languages here at HPA. So one of our highlights of HPA is our ability to offer a wide variety. Here at HPA, we are currently offering Mandarin, Japanese. We also offer Hawaiian, which is obviously rare, and we offer Spanish as well. So through those different languages, students are able to pick a certain language, typically their freshman year, and stick with it for 4 years. Typically, a lot of high schools only require 3 years of language, something that I did and I regret. I would advise, and a lot of these students here have taken at least 4 years of language. So yeah, it's a great department that also has been able to work with our travel program coordinator and come up with different trip experiences throughout the last several years. So for example, we had our Japanese teacher taking a group of students with one of our social studies teachers to Japan last year. And then we also had trips to other places in Europe as well. And this year, students will have the opportunity to also sign up for different programs as well. So modern world language has been a great opportunity for a lot of students here, especially I teach mainly regular non-AP courses here in the social studies department at HPA. And I have several students that always rave about their Hawaiian language classes. And we have a great young Hawaiian language teacher who's really done a great job with our current population. So you really get that experience if you want to come here and learn more about the island and taking a little bit more culture. You have the opportunity to start out your freshman year taking Hawaiian 1. All of our languages, there is the first level, second, third, fourth, and then the option to take AP if you test in. I know that we have someone on this call who is in AP Spanish. Valentina, do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience in AP Spanish this year?
I think it's a really fun class, and it just keeps me in touch with my language, because there's also some other students from Spain and Mexico, and then the teacher, of course. And it's just fun to keep learning my language and get like the college level program too. And I think it's a really good class to take.
Perfect. Thank you, Valentina. So we're going to keep moving along for sake of time. We have our next department is the arts department here at HPA. Arts department offers the most amount of courses. We actually have an interesting system where some of our art courses are actually only offered once per quarter. So for example, we are now ending Q1 at HPA today, October 13th. And so I know I have a couple students in my advisory who are now, or in the past couple of weeks have been looking for that next arts class that they will take. Arts classes range anything from drawing to ceramics, stagecraft. So building a lot of the equipment, a lot of the features for upcoming school play is a very popular one as well. Woodshop is also part of our arts department. You can also take digital cinema. You can take photography. So all of these courses, even yearbook falls into our arts department. And we have a very dedicated staff in our arts department. We actually have two of our staff members are also working with marketing and communication, and they have a lot of experience with videography and photography. So that's been an amazing experience just as a faculty member to walk by and see those two showing students how to find the proper lighting out on our campus during the middle of the day. So yeah, it's been a really awesome experience to see a lot of our students thrive in the arts. We also have a place called the Isaacs Art Center, and the Isaac Art Center is located next to our lower campus. And this is where we have an art curator who also serves as an AP art history teacher here at HPA. So that's an amazing ability to have her experience, her background as an art curator, and she runs the gallery with her son. So that's it's an amazing experience for students to go and see that, and for people within our Waimea community to go and experience the Isaacs Art Center. Arts also has a heavy interest with our capstone, which I'll be talking about next. So I'll just kind of flow right into our capstone. And so with our capstone experience, you have all of the different departments offered at HPA, where students essentially grow through their freshman, sophomore, and junior year, and they end up choosing a particular field. And all those fields have been covered. Actually, social studies, which I teach, I totally zoned out on. Sorry. Social studies is the last one before I go into capstone. I teach 9th grade Global Roots, which is a non-Western history course that has students build analytical and historical thinking skills in order for them to succeed at higher level courses. In the social studies department, we have economics honors, AP US history, AP human geography is a very popular course. AP human geography is the only sophomore level course that you can take an AP class. So that's a big hit as well for our students. On top of that, we also have AP psychology is a quite popular elective for juniors and seniors. I would say a push might be, or AP US history might be one of the more challenging courses here at HPA. So I know a lot of students take that to challenge themselves, whether or not they're actually interested in history. So that's a brief overview of social studies. We also have my global roots class is only 1 semester in length for freshmen. And then after they are done taking global roots, they will then go into Hawaiian studies with our kumupua. And Hawaiian studies is also kind of a subsector of our social studies. It feels like its own department, but we're lucky to have her in our department. She offers Hawaiian Studies 1, and then she offers an advanced level Hawaiian Studies and also another elective on navigation. So that's an overview of the social studies department. And then kind of social studies and all of these other courses are connected to our goal of HPA, and that's for students in their senior year to take a capstone class. The capstone experience in HPA is an amazing experience because you have at least 1 member of each department is required to be teaching capstone. And so students have variety, right? It's very versatile. You can choose if you're interested in STEM, like Luke is, then you can find something in that regard. If you're interested in journalism, you can work with one of our English faculty who has a class that centers around writing and journalism. So I love the capstone experience. I think it's an amazing opportunity for students to not only like kind of just lay back after getting into college their senior year, but it's also a way for students who maybe they never took an AP, right? And it's for them to be like, wow, I'm really passionate about this topic and I'm just going to go all in. So it's quite amazing. And I want to show you all a really, really awesome opportunity that a student took advantage of, and he actually created his own business. So we had a student last year. He graduated as a senior. His name is William Schulhoff. He was actually in Miss Hubert Sanchez's advisory, and he ended up creating a business where he used drone footage and 3D abilities to create this campus map. So I'm actually going to link this in the chat for all of you, but it's quite amazing because you can kind of click on any area of campus. So as Mr. Burchell is explaining, we have the energy lab. I'm going to click on it right here so you can all see the 3D space of our energy lab. And then you have the ability to kind of like walk around. So it's quite amazing. So it's like if you are located on the mainland of the United States, if you're located internationally, this is the best way to experience HPA. And it was created by one of our students just last year, who has now made this into an LLC, which is quite incredible. And he goes to Miss Hubert Sanchez. Where does he go to school?
Babson in Boston.
Perfect. So yeah, he goes to Babson, which is an entrepreneurship-based college as well. So he's the amazing story of a kid who really found himself his senior year. So I love showing that project that he created. So that kind of comes to the end of all of the HPA overview.